Hi, everyone, and good morning. This is Elizabeth with Future Problem Solving Program International, here to present the 5th of 10 lessons on critical and creative thinking. This week, we are going to be talking about a creative thinking tool called force fitting. So, just as a brief review, effective problem solving relies on both creative thinking and critical thinking. They both get you to your goals, but really it's important to have both if you're going to be an effective problem solver. Now, creative thinking involves generating new and many ideas using the principle of deferred judgment. What this means is no criticism or praise. Now, criticism, again, I'm just going over brief reminders. Criticism can make people not want to participate, make them think that their ideas are bad, but it's sort of hard to understand sometimes why praise might not be the best thing when people are generating ideas. And the reason is that you can bias people to only go in one direction. You can make people think that only one person's ideas are good. Really, you just want to have no judgment whatsoever until after the generating phase. You're looking for quantity over quality right now. You just want as many ideas as possible. When you apply those critical thinking tools, those critical thinking skills to your ideas, that's when you really start looking for the quality ideas, for taking some of those many ideas and making them better, things like that. And it's totally fine to combine or improve on others' ideas. This is called hitchhiking or piggybacking. If someone has an idea and it sparks something in your own brain, that's great. That's completely fine. In fact, it's encouraged, as are freewheeling, wild and crazy ideas. Even if it's something that won't work right now, you don't know what idea that could spark in someone else or what solution that could have for your goal. Now, as I said today, we are going to be talking about force fitting. April has already talked about Scamper and the morphological matrix. And there are two other creative thinking tools that we will be going over in these 10 lessons: attribute listing and brainstorming. So with force fitting, it's exactly what it sounds like. You take items and you impose them into a situation and you make them fit. And it might be a stretch, it might not entirely make sense how they would work, but you really have to just try and make them fit in the situation that you're in. And the reason this is great is because sometimes when we are working with creative problem solving, we don't have all the tools we need and we have to use what's available. And I actually have a specific example for future problem solving that I'll get to after I explain this. Now, here are some things that you can use when you're practicing: a toy car, a large basket of fruit, a stapler, a pair of long white gloves, a box of paper clips, a wastebasket or trash container, a bowling ball, a large inflatable beach ball, a box of laundry soap, a pair of binoculars, a Barbie doll, a small child's tricycle, a container of blue paint, a large painting of a mountain scene, several plates, bowls, and other eating utensils, excuse me, an old used automobile tire, a flashlight, a screwdriver, and a sewing machine. Now, you don't necessarily have to have all of these things to do force fitting. You can use anything that you have, but these are just some ideas to get you started that people might be familiar with, especially if you're introducing this to kids. So, using that list, we are going to look at this challenge. You've just moved into a new community. How might you make friends? Now, with some things, like a large inflatable beach ball, this is a little easier. You can have a game in your yard and invite people over. You can have a tea party with your Barbie dolls. It's a little harder with something like a stapler or a pair of long white gloves or a box of paper clips. But for example, if you moved into a new community and you work or go to school with someone in that community, you could offer to share your supplies with them. And so your goal is to just take any of these things and try and make them fit the situation. Now, in future problem solving, my specific example is, before I joined the international office, I was a coach, and my very first year as a coach, I had a team that made it to the affiliate bowl. And at that bowl, they ran out of ideas for solutions. And I didn't know what force fitting was at the time. We hadn't talked about it, but they told me the story after that. They saw a water bottle on their table and they looked at it and said, you know what, we're going to come up with a solution about a water bottle. And they did. They just made a water bottle fit the underlying problem they were working with, and they turned it into a solution. Unfortunately, they didn't make it to internationals that year, but they did place. So I was very proud of them. But using that kind of force fitting, that kind of problem solving is really important in future problem solving, in life in general. And it's really a great tool for when you are trying to figure out solutions. All right, thank you so much for watching. Please check back next week for our next lesson on critical and creative thinking. Have a great day, everyone.